Okay, so there's one time I was at the bar, and all of a sudden on the stage, the guy was like, "Hey, is there any of you playing guitar?" So I was like, "Yeah, okay, it's gonna be you. Come on." On the stage, so I was like, "What?" So I came on the stage and then jammed over it.
Dude, that's so cool. So you were just hanging out,
Yeah.
enjoying the music, and they brought you up,
Yeah.
and you got to jam along for a little while.
Yeah.
Did you keep up?
Yeah, of course. The song itself is not bad.
Dope, man.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the NG English Show. My name is John Drummond, or Yang Holland.
嗨，大家好，欢迎回到 NG 英文，我是 Stephanie。今天的来宾 Walis 目前居住在台中，他是一位非常有才华的音乐家和音乐老师。接下来就让我们来欢迎 Walis。
I'm joined today by the incredibly talented Mr. Walis. Walis is living out of Taichung right now. He is a musician, he is a music teacher, and so much more. So everyone, please welcome Walis.
Hey, John. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah, man. What's up? Thank you for joining us up in Taipei today. I'm sorry you had to take a little day off from all your work.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, I kind of like tired of being just in the same place all the time, you know, so it's good. Cause good to be on Taipei, and then you invited me over. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I love it. I'm a little bit disappointed that you're wearing a number 4 Car jersey right now. I'll be honest, bro, because I don't know if you know, I'm a San Diego Charger fan. Now the LA Chargers, I know, but when I was growing up, the Chargers and the Raiders hated each other.
Hey, I actually got one jersey because my cousin they live in San Diego.
Bro, why aren't you wearing that? I'm from San Diego.
I never defend them, so
I'm teasing. I love that you even care about football. That's cool. American football, I should say.
actually because first time I played the game with my cousin, you know, like football game, so I choose Raiders, and that's why I love them. But then after that, I kind of like fall in love with Cowboys.
Okay.
Team America, right? That's what you guys say.
That is right. The team of America right there. That's pretty cool, man. I'll be honest, I love the Raiders colors. I always wished the San Diego Charger colors are terrible. But the Raiders, it was like cool, black and white, you know. The Cowboys are like silver and blue and white. It looks good.
Yeah, because that's why I choose them. And then, you know, they have like a skeleton, like,
yes,
sort of thing. And I think compared among of all these football team, I mean, they got the coolest, like.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Cool, brother. Well, I'm so stoked you're here. You are actually the incredible husband of someone who was on the show a few weeks ago, Jenny.
Yeah.
And Jenny was like, hey, I think you and my husband would get along because my husband makes incredible music. He makes his own guitars. And I was like, get this man on the show right now. And here you are. So we were very efficient. Shout out to Jenny.
Hey.
Cool, man. So I was hoping, could you give a little introduction about yourself here on NG England? Who is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Walis?
No, not a legend, actually. You know, I'm just a guy, love the music. And I actually been, you know, teaching guitar, you know, like a music instructor for over a decade.
Love it.
Yeah, here in Taiwan. And yeah, first of all, you know, just like others do, started a band, you know, play music. Yeah, I first got into music when I would say probably back to like when I was 7. Yeah, because my aunt, you know, back the time, you know, she loves Guns N' Roses, Europe, all those 80 hard rock bands.
Yeah, man. The hair bands.
Yeah, that's what got me into. I even remember that I took the broom and pretend there's a guitar with my cousin, you know, with the chopstick. And then it's just,
drums,
like a band, you know. So yeah, it was quite fun. I mean, but I never thought, oh, this is what I'm gonna be in the future, you know. Because as a child, you always had numerous like thought, oh, what I'm gonna be in the future. I'm gonna be policeman or you know whatever, like you know whatnot. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I'm still doing that childhood thing. I'm like, what am I gonna be? Still figuring that out.
Yeah, it's true.
It's so cool, man.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I love that. And so when did you actually transition to playing your own music? So you grew up loving the music, but when did you start to maybe pick up a guitar, pick up an instrument to play?
Yeah, I started like almost to 15, something like that. Actually, my sister, she has a guitar because she served in the church. And then back at the time, I was watching this NTV show, I still remember the song, like
MTV.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. I really want to learn that. So my teachers and my sister just, hey, here's the guitar. You can take it. And then that's the journeys, where this journeys begin, started. Yeah.
That's the origin story right there. So did you see something on MTV, you like a guitar solo or something, or you were just like, oh, that sounds so good, I want to learn how to play all of it?
Like a lot of band back then, like Bon Jovi, Red Hot Chili Pepper, Yeah, but this one thing kind of bothers me though, because we never really had like really like big band coming to Taiwan.
Yeah.
I think last time Aerosmith is supposed to come to Kaohsiung, but then they canceled. I don't know why.
I don't know if I told you yet. I actually work in the music industry here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But electronic music. So I bring in a lot of big DJs for shows.
Okay.
And unfortunately, the problem with Taiwan's, the market is too small. So there's not enough incentive for big musicians to come to play like one show, because it costs so much money to produce those shows. DJs can come because, they just need a turntable.
Yeah.
But musicians, they need to bring their bands, their crew, all their equipment.
Yeah.
It's so much money. So unfortunately, the revenue doesn't work out well.
Oh, okay. So that's why.
So that's probably why there's not so many. But it's a bummer. It's a bummer. But yeah, so how did you learn how to play that Ozzy Osbourne song?
Actually, just self-taught most of the time.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually got like back then we had like a music video. I think it's called like VHS or something.
VHS was like a big cassette tape. For
Yeah.
right?
And then I bought some of that. Some of the great like guitarists. Like not Steve Vai, but Paul Gilbert, Nuno Bettencourt from the Extreme, and also like others. So that's how I picked up. Some of the stuff like playing.
I love the self-taught journey. That was how I learned guitar as well. And just kind of like figuring out. I remember early days of computers, I was trying to figure out how to read tabs.
Yeah.
And that's how I learned. The first guitar song I ever learned, like a good one, was Stairway to Heaven, which you're not allowed
classic.
to play anywhere.
Yeah. Overplayed.
But I thought it was such a beautiful song, and so I learned how to play it.
来宾是一位吉他老师，他已经从事这行10几年了。他第一次接触音乐是7岁的时候，当时流行的歌手有 Guns N' Roses、枪与玫瑰以及这类型的乐团。那其实小时候来宾跟他亲戚还会一起用扫把跟筷子当做鼓棒跟吉他组成一个假乐队。但其实他当时并没有想到说他长大后会从事这一行，毕竟小时候总是会想要当很多不同的职业，例如警察之类的。那来宾一直到了15岁才开始真的接触到乐器。那当时因为他姐姐有一把吉他，而刚好他看到 MTV 上有一首歌他非常想学，所以开启了他学习之路。那最后他学会了 Ozzy Osbourne 的歌，是透过自学 self-taught 的方式。当时有一个叫 VHS 的公司专门在出一些教学卡式录影带 cassette tape， 他就购买了一些知名歌手的教学。
So thinking about kind of now your journey as a musician and a music teacher, what's that journey like here in Taiwan for you? Are you getting students? I think you do online classes as well. Is that right?
Yeah, of course, because of the pandemic situation.
Yeah.
So we have to move on some of the class online. But to be honest, there was a gap between the period during teaching, because I gave myself like 10 years. If not, get any better, I'm gonna just maybe get another job, like a normal job. Society.
The dreams.
Yeah, so there was a gap between that, a couple of years, and then I become like, international sales representative, for a couple of years. But, I was really like depressed back then, because that's not, exactly what I want to do.
Right, it's not your dream to be an international salesman.
Yeah, but during the, the period when I was still a teacher, that was really, like happy. I really enjoyed it. Even though it's, unstable, and sometimes it could be really hassle, right? Think about that, because if you're teaching, it doesn't matter music, or it's always about the parent, right?
Yeah, making the parent happy. Who pays the bills?
You had to cope with that. But as far as I know, there's barely like people really make it, to as a business, like music stuff like. So you always have to get like a sub job, to maintain, like I just mentioned. Yeah, but apart from that, I think it's all, pretty good, awesome. Yeah, you get to play on the stage, right? Sometimes, and the school also has some kind of event, and then you leading your student up there, and then see your student playing, performing, and that's pretty kick-ass,
It is pretty cool, and I think even cooler is you have learned how to make guitars. So now you're playing, you're teaching music, but you can actually now craft an acoustic or electric guitar. Is that right?
Not acoustic. Not yet, but yeah, maybe one day. Who knows, right?
So cool. Yeah. So what's that process like? Like, how do you make your own guitar?
Because back then, a couple of years ago, there's a documentary, like movie coming out. It's about like luthier from New York. Yeah, and he and his like student, I mean the girl who works for him, they have this shop in Carmine Street, and there's a documentary about he handmade all the guitar from the wood. I think those wood from the really old, like 100, even over 100 years old building, like they tore it down, and so they take those as a material and to make it, to make a guitar out of it. I think that's pretty cool because you got a history. I remember they even say there's one guitar that they made. It's from the like a stair where like Jimi Hendrix, stay.
So cool.
Yeah.
So that like the house that he maybe lived in or something.
Yeah.
Some part of the foundation of the house. Is that right?
Yeah, and even like a President Kennedy, as well. So those wood actually, got story. That's I thought it was pretty cool. So I was thinking like maybe I can do some of that, but later on I find out it's not just one, like Carmine Street guitar. There's several of them in America, and I found out this guy from Texas, George. So I contact him, and he actually makes some like body. He's like, yeah, I can give you some body. I mean, if you want it, the body. I said, yeah. So I actually just purchased 2 of them and directly from Texas. Yeah. And then started from there. And I check online. There's a guy who has a channel, is a YouTuber as well. And he actually do like demonstrate about how you make your own guitar, neck, the leveling job, stuff like that. Yeah, so I started from there. I mean, a couple months ago. Yeah.
It's awesome, man. It's so cool. It's that self-learning journey, and something we'll talk about in a second is how it seems like you used your English abilities, your toolkit to reach out to this guy in the U.S.
Yes.
to order some parts, and also to kind of learn some of the process of the build.
Yeah.
This is so cool. And so thinking about that now, it almost seems like it could be a fun business here in Taiwan potentially for you, of like taking old parts of trees or old parts of buildings and build out like, violins
maybe,
and guitars and all kinds of cool instruments here in Taiwan.
And it's really interesting because I'm Aborigine. So, from the place I live, back in the place in Nantou, right, we have a lot of like a tree, not cut down, but they just fall down because the time, right, getting old or something. So we also had like a wood that you can just pick up. So I think maybe later on, like, you can just pick out one of them and then make a guitar out of it.
Yeah. Man. And represent your roots right there.
Heritage.
Your heritage. I love that, man. And that's what you love, the story too, right? The history of it all.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, man. It's so cool. And I think you brought it. You brought one of is this an actual one that you built from the guy in?
Yeah, me and George. He actually
check this out, guys. If you're watching the show on YouTube, it's incredible. So take us through the process here.
Yeah. So actually, the part from the body is from George. He kind of do like eraser things, like Coca-Cola.
Oh, is that all like burned into the wood?
Yeah.
Wow. It's actually it's lighter than I thought too.
Yeah, it's maple
It's
actually.
maple.
Yeah. I think this is from someone's building, and then he took down, and so
you got the body, and then you attached the neck, and
Yeah.
You strung it and everything.
and I burn it here because I want to coat with the color, so I had to burn it first.
So cool.
Yeah, and the others, I do like labeling job on the neck, because as a musician, it can be just like look good, right? You gotta play.
It's gotta be
smooth.
functional too.
Yeah. That's true. So
Yeah, man, I love that. Well, I wish you nothing but success with your music journey, your teaching, and your building. And I hope that some people are listening, might reach out. And
hope so.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate it, man.
来宾目前的教学方式也有透过网络远端教学，因为疫情的关系，所以才会有这样的形式。那他其实在教学的这段期间也有过一小段空档，因为他给自己的期限是10年。那如果他觉得10年以来都没有好转的话，他就决定找一份一般普通的上班族工作。所以有几年时间，他当过国际销售业务 （International Sales Representative）。但他当时非常的忧郁，因为这终究不是他的梦想。那来宾说，他当时当老师的时候其实很开心，虽然不稳定又得讨好家长，可是他觉得要将音乐当做一门生意的话，并不是人人做得到，所以他得做一些副业。那他其实想到有一些表演机会，尤其是带领学生表演的时候，他就觉得这一切都值得了。而且更酷的是，来宾会制作吉他，虽然说他现在没有办法完全做出一个原声 acoustic 的吉他，但是他有一天或许可以哦。他会接触到吉他制作的原因，是因为他看了一部纪录片 documentary， 他们使用了几百年的老树，甚至是 Jimi Hendrix 家的老阶梯制成的，那就连 Kennedy 总统的也有。那他认为这些木头其实都非常有故事，所以他后来找到了一些美国的卖家，然后跟他们买了一些材料后，他就上 YouTube 看了一些示范，然后开始制作了。那尤其是因为来宾是来自于南投的原住民 Aborigine， 那他们那边有很多自然倒塌的树，他就想要使用他们其中一个来做一把吉他。那来宾有带他制作的吉他到录影现场哦，所以如果你们现在看不到的朋友们，可以到我们 NG 英文的 YouTube 频道看哦。那像吉他部分，它是用美国那边购买的材料，那脖子的部分的话，它就是后来才接上去的。那它除了要确保好看之外，还得真的能使用啊。所以如果有兴趣上课或是定制吉他的人，都可以跟来宾联系哦。
Do you think we can share a little bit about kind of your history with English and Taiwan? Yeah, you were mentioning you're Aboriginal. Can you share a little bit of your kind of origin story and how that has led you to English?
So actually, this back, also back to my childhood, because my mom worked in the national hotel in Taichung. Back then it's really big one, the main one. All the celebrity or like star, if they go to Taichung, it is Taichung. That's the place that they're gonna stay. And my mom has to have the ability of speaking multiple language like English, of course, and Japanese as well, to deal with the customer, right? And that's how I didn't really learn. I didn't really go to school to pick up the language. But then because the surrounding that I have to immerse myself and observe from the surroundings. So that's why I can speak English.
Thinking how it's applied now to your music, I think you were telling me off air, you took an important trip to the US and did some like music tourism that maybe you wouldn't have been able to do if you couldn't speak English. Is that right?
Yeah. Because actually, my sister lives in America, my nephew, and we grew up together, and then they moved to America as well. But actually, my sister applied, the citizenship for me. So I had a couple of times, stay in America. And one time, I think that's my nephew's wedding, which is held in Arkansas. So I was like,
Arkansas.
Yeah. And so I checked the map first. Okay.
Where is Arkansas?
Yeah. So I'm gonna play the trick because I see Tennessee. Oh my goodness, that's the place definitely want to go. Down south, they got the best. I don't know if that you agree with that or not. Like the best barbecue.
Yeah, very good barbecue. Great country music.
Yeah,
a lot of deep South roots.
So I make the plan. How to get there and then where I'm gonna go. The attraction, right? The place. I think Memphis is Beale Street. That's the place definitely want to go. There's a lot of bars over there, and a lot of like well-known, famous country musician or blues music, B.B. King, and J. Lee Lewis. Yeah, someone like that. Elvis, of course. Yeah. So down south, we don't get a lot of Asian. It's not like New York, like a Cali, those places. So you have to use English, and you have to think about that because down south they got really strong accent.
Oh yeah.
Hey y'all, right?
That was pretty good.
Can I fix you some drink? I thought I was kind of like confused back then because what fix? Fix? You
something
mean
broken?
Yeah. No, I mean fix you some beverage. Dr. Pepper. Oh yeah, of course, Dr. Pepper would be nice. Yeah. So if you don't have like English ability, I believe you can still go there, but it's gonna be really hard for you because everything is on English.
Thinking about all that too, have you used English then to kind of learn more about music and how to teach yourself different aspects of music?
Definitely, because most of the the material is actually from America, especially if you're into rock and roll, country, jazz. But of course, we have like a translated version here in Taiwan in Chinese, but it can be quite kind of dangerous sometimes because the way they say it. Because back then when I looked all those like translated version, I was like it kind of confused. I don't quite get it, but then as after I can read all of that, redo all of that, oh, this is what all about. It's just that easy. I mean, of course, you still need, put a lot of effort to it. But, once you can, you have the ability to speak English, to read, do all of that, and then it will be quite easier.
Yes, so interesting. So saying that the translations in Mandarin Chinese were harder to understand, maybe because they were kind of painting this big picture, but in English, was it a little more direct? Yes,
definitely. Because once you understand English, that gets you to the point, like straight, and you don't have to, think about, oh wow, what this could be mean, like something, or stuff like that. Yeah, so it's really important. I mean, that's the key. If you have, the ability to speak English, to really do all of that, yeah, it will be quite simple to assess, those stuff. Yeah,
it's beautiful, and it's so cool to kind of hear your story too of the journey with your music and how it all connected to you and now with your builds and with your music teaching and as a musician yourself, it's a beautiful full circle right there, my bro.
yeah, definitely.
Very cool. Well, Walis, man, thank you for joining us on the NG English show. A question I love to end the show with is if you could go back and talk to a younger Walis, would there be any advice you give yourself about music, language, life, anything?
And don't hesitate it. Just go for it.
You heard it here. Don't hesitate. Go for it. Make some music. Create art.
来宾学英文的原因是因为他小时候的母亲是在饭店工作，那他必须会说多国语言，那其中就包括了英文。虽然他没有正式的学习过，但因为他就是沉浸 immerse 在那种的环境中，所以就学起来了。那其实来宾的姐姐跟侄子都住在美国，那他姐也曾经帮他申请过公民，所以他有一阵子都住在美国。那他侄子刚好是在 Arkansas 属于美国南部的地方要办婚礼，所以当他发现 Tennessee 也在同一个州的时候，他就很想要去看。那他觉得他们有最好吃的 barbecue， 所以他就开始规划了他去哪些地方玩跟哪些地方吃之类的。那其实来宾也意识到，其实因为美国南部有比较少的华人，所以必须得用英文沟通，而且他们的口音又比较重一点，所以其实算是一种考验。那像当时店员问他需不需要帮他点饮料的时候，他们是用 Can I fix you a drink？ 那其实这是一种比较口语化的表达方式。 那因为 fix 这个字本身解释就是修理，但是因为当时他就很错愕，就觉得说是要修什么吗？然后后来服务生说就是饮料的品牌之后，他才意识到说原来他是在问他说要喝什么饮料。那他有提到说他有去使用英文去学习音乐相关的知识，例如说他很喜欢爵士 jazz 跟蓝调 blues 这类的。那因为其实很多都来自于美国，虽然台湾有很多翻译的书籍，但他觉得其实有时候不太懂，反而看了原文之后才理解。那来宾会给年轻的自己的建议就是不要犹豫 Don't hesitate 就去做吧。那我们就谢谢今天的来宾 Walis。
Awesome. Well, where can people reach out to you on social media? Maybe a fan page on Facebook for music lessons or anything like that?
Yeah, I actually have a platform on Facebook called Wolfland.
Wolfland. How?
Yeah.
All right.
Because I always refer myself as a wolf.
Nice. The lone wolf? Are you a lone wolf?
No, not anymore. Apparently.
Now you got a pack.
Yeah.
All right, the wolf. I love that. I love wolves. My first motorcycle here in Taiwan was the Sim Wolf.
Oh yeah,
And
that's.
I love that thing.
I mean, that's typical like farmer.
Yeah, that
like
was me.
equipment.
Yeah, but I was the beach boy out in Elan.
Really?
Riding the wolf.
Cool.
Yeah, I loved it. Awesome, man. So Wolfland, reach out to my man Walis if you want to learn how to build cool guitars or do some music lessons online all throughout Taiwan or the world. Yeah, man.
Thanks, man.
All right, brother. Well, we'll talk to you next time.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, everyone. Well, don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe here on NG Ingwen. My name is John. This was Walis. We'll talk to you next time.
My honor.
Peace. All right. Well, that is our NG Ingwen show for today. We hope everyone enjoyed listening to that. You can connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and now Spotify. You can search NG Ingwen, or you can search on IG NG English ICRT. And don't forget to tune in every Wednesday morning from 6:30 to 7 and Wednesday night from 9 to 9:30. We'll catch you on the next episode. Bye-bye.